All right, good morning, everyone. Making a few little minor adjustments here to our Facebook Live video. And remember, we're not supposed to say good morning. We're supposed to say great morning. Great morning to everybody. I'm excited that you're joining us this morning, or that you're joining me this morning and you're joining everybody else. So I'm very excited to say welcome to our Success Starts Now workshop. Going with our theme that we talked about for the year of 2018, the year of now. So we're going to start calling these power videos Success Starts Now. All right, isn't that exciting? I hope you went out and got your now and laters, okay? I'm not promoting you to eat the whole bag, but I am promoting people to go out and get these now and later candies and sprinkle them on their desk, put them in their car, wherever your workspace might be. Put some in your bag or your purse so that you can be reminded that what we do now, we reap the benefits of later. And so that's in all areas of life, but we're relating that to our Pampered Chef business opportunity, of course. Okay, so we are trying to keep our segments to about 30 minutes. I do want to let you know that the next one will be this Thursday. That's January the 18th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're just trying to do these power videos. We're doing a series of these power videos to help people have a successful business, to build systems that are successful, and to be a little bit more systematic in their business. But we want to do these videos not just on Mondays. We want to do them on different days. We might do one a week. We might do a couple during a week, and just different time frames too, so that other people have the opportunity to join in live. So just housekeeping real quick. Make sure that if you have a question, if you have a comment, that you go ahead and you post that on the page. Thank you for everybody that's saying good morning and great morning, and I just appreciate you joining us now. We have almost 1,000 people on the team page who are wanting to gather more information and be a part of these trainings. So I'm excited to be able to do that and to be able to have all of you join in. So another thing too on housekeeping, we don't want to do any type of negative Nelly posts. We don't want to be energy drainers. We want to be givers. And sometimes if we're struggling, then we can get on the negative Nelly side just a little bit. So I'm going to encourage you to always reach up to your director, reach up to your recruiter, reach up to your national, and reach out to me. You can private message me if you are just feeling like, oh my gosh, everything I'm doing is like, okay? We don't want to get up and eat any grumpy for breakfast. You know, sometimes when I look at folks and hear them talking, I'm like, ooh, they must have had a bowl of grumpy for breakfast. So we always want to be positive no matter what our circumstances are, no matter what's going on, because tomorrow's a new day, and there's always something else we can do. So sometimes we just have the wrong perspective. So even when we're frustrated, it's okay to reach up so that you can get encouragement, you can get some advice. But make sure we don't put anything negative on our page. All right, we want to make sure everything that we have a comment or question, that it's positively motivating to other people who may be looking at that. So last week, just as a little bit of review, we talked about procrastination, how procrastination destroys and discourages. What we do now, we reap the benefits of later, and therefore, that's why we have our now and later candies. We talked about the word now and how we can turn those letters around and spell own, O-W-N, and own our decision to work our business now. And we also could spell that word one, W-O-N, one, on a winning team. So the decisions that we own now, the decision that we make to own to work our business now, we will reap the benefits later when we look back at 2018 and we can see all of the accomplishments that we've made and we can see what we've actually won this year in the Pampered Chef world, okay? So I'm very excited about the year of now. I'm very excited about looking forward and what we can do to achieve our goals and achieve our dreams. We also talked about a dream with no action plan is just a wish, and a dream with an action plan can actually become reality. Some other things we talked about was that the secret that everybody wants to know, what's the secret to the business, what's the secret to being a top seller, what's the secret to being successful in Pampered Chef. And there is one secret, and that secret is consistency. So we talked about not having a wishbone, but having a consistency bone, okay, if you will. That's just a little metaphor. But we can't just wish that we are going to become a director. We can't wish for a show schedule. We can't wish to have successful shows. We actually have to be consistent. We actually have to make the decision. It all starts, everything in life starts with a decision. We have to make a decision that we're going to have a consistent show schedule. We have to make a decision that we are going to have a successful show. We have to make a decision at every show what we'd like to have happen at every show. So we do want to make sure that we remember that the secret to our business is consistency. And we need to ask ourselves, how consistent am I being? Am I being consistent in host coaching? Am I being consistent in bookings? Am I being consistent with my show schedule? And it doesn't matter if it's a virtual schedule, if it's a cooking show live schedule, whatever types of shows you're doing. And I'm going to be an encourager of doing all the different ways of working the business, but it has to be consistent, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. So we talked a little bit about time management on our last vid, and time management is crucial. It is also one of the things that can rob us of a successful business is poor time management. So if we don't look at what's coming up, if we don't look at when our store is going to be open, and we don't make the decision on what our hours look like for our store this week, well, guess what? We're probably not going to have success this week in our business. So I'm encouraging you to always look every 3 months, to look out at least 3 months, okay? And to look at family commitments, to look at what's going on in your life, and then that way you can kind of see what it is that you have left that you want to plug into Pampered Chef. I realize that a lot of you are working a full-time job. You have another career, that Pampered Chef is coming in as a supplemental income, or it's coming in as a hobby for some. But I also want you to realize that the Pampered Chef opportunity has the power to be your full-time career. I never thought that I would be able to say that I'm going to do Pampered Chef full-time, and I have been doing that for a long time now. This is my 16th year in the business. I'm on my year 11 of doing nothing but Pampered Chef as my sole income. So I'm just saying, it can be what you want it to be, and you have to plan it out. We also had that phrase that success is not something that just happens. Success is a scheduled event, and a scheduled event has to start on your calendar. So I am so excited about that. Look out what's coming up. So this is mid-January. We should all be kind of knowing where we're headed through mid-April, or even to the end of April, and looking forward to May. So I do want to share with you, I had asked you guys a question on the post. I posted this question this weekend, and the question was, what's the #1 product that we should be selling at every single show? And that should be, no matter what type of show it is, what was the #1 product that we should be selling every show? Well, I got a lot of really good responses, and all of these answers that we got were spot on. They were great. We had people saying rock crocs and grill pans, but what I really want you to realize is the #1 product that you should be selling at every show is you. You. And we did get a couple of responses with that. So yay, hats off to you. hats off to all of you, because sometimes it was like, oh, that was a trick question. That must have been a trick question. You set us up for a trick question. But no, I really want you to think about that in your mindset, that you are Pampered Chef, and you're probably, most of us, we're the only Pampered Chef that some people in our circle is ever going to meet. They may never have the opportunity to be a part of our company, or to meet our home office staff, or to go to the warehouse and to do whatever. So, you know, to go to national conference. So we really do need to make sure that we're the #1 product. They have to buy into us. We're the consultant. And we are trying to, not trying to, but we need to have that goal of, man, I want these people plugged into me. When they see a manual food processor, they see a rock crocker, they see anything that's Pampered Chef related, the first thing that you want to pop into their mind is Michael Reeves or Patty Masserino or whoever. It needs to be you. You. I got to text Marie last night. I'm so blessed that I have 3 nationals, Patty Masserino and Marie Fried Egg and Nancy Jo Ryan, and whoa, I am just so blessed to be able to have access to talk to these ladies and have their training and their encouragement. So I got to text Marie last night because I booked my first show for 2019. And for 2019, and I know some of you are like, what? I need a booking now. Well, we all need bookings now, but the reason why I want to bring this up to you is because it goes right with what I just said about selling yourself. Selling yourself as your #1 product. Why in the world would somebody book a show for January 2019? Well, because they had a great time at their January show 2018. And they want to continue now to be an annual host. And I have some hosts who will be annual hosts, biannual hosts. I even have a few hosts who host every quarter. And so I want to encourage those that may be looking at this today going, oh my gosh, you know, it's one and done. It's never one and done. Nobody's ever pampered out, because we're always adding new products. We're always changing up. We're always getting better with what we have to offer to people. So when people have a good time at your show, and I'm not saying that you have to be some kind of spontaneous comedian, actor, or anything like that, but when people have good information and they have good time getting that information, and it's a good time of fellowship, then you will get and continue to get bookings. So that's why there is a show already on the calendar for 2019. That's why there are shows on the calendar already for March and April and June and October and November of 2018 already, as we just get started good in 2018. So I don't want you to feel like that's something that you can't do. And I don't want you just to try to book as far out as you can, because you always want to book in close. But I wanted to bring that point to you alongside of that question that was asked. So I don't think that that was a coincidence at all that I asked that question knowing that that's what the answer was, and then last night get a phone call that they want to book a show for 2019 before we get to do this power video today. So Shut the Gate and Paint the Barn Red. Awesome. I love it. I love this business, and I have a good time. I'm passionate about seeing those people at our cooking shows not only have a good time at the show, but actually learning something more about their product that really does truly make a difference in meal preparation for them and their family. So I want you to consider that. Consider, how are you selling yourself? What in the world are you doing to have people remember you as their consultant? So let's look at just a couple of things that, so really today's power video, we want to focus on building that strong show system. And a show system is a systematic way of doing your shows, no matter what type of show. And all of this is that I will be sharing with you over these next couple of power videos are going to point towards every type of show and be very duplicatable. But this morning, I'm kind of more so focused on some of the cooking show stresses and cooking show system, because that's where a lot of people are tending to be struggling right now. They don't know if they want to do a cooking show. They don't know maybe how to do a cooking show. And some people are like, well, I'm just not the type that can talk to people. So remember last time we talked about being a sharer. We want to share the product. We want to share our experience with the product. And the best way to gain product knowledge is to be using the problem. Not the problem, but be using the product. See? Sometimes my mind even goes where it's not supposed to. All right, so let's just mention a couple of stresses that maybe some of you are going through, okay? And I myself have struggled in these areas. So this is not rocket science, but this is sometimes overanalyzing, and we can struggle when we overanalyze. So wondering what the recipe I should do. Oh my gosh, that is a big stress for a lot of people. What theme do I do, or do I need to be offering, or what themes do I need to be offering for cooking shows? Preparing a grocery list for your host, or preparing an ingredient list. Simply running out of time to get all of this done. Practicing with the product, and then trying to practice a recipe once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times before you actually present that recipe at a cooking show. And you know what ends up happening when we do too much analyzation? It causes paralyzation. So I want you to think about that thought just for a minute. If you're constantly stressing over a recipe, if you're constantly stressing over what kind of theme should I be offering, if you're constantly stressing over, I need to practice this multiple times so that I can present it well at the show. Now, I'm not belittling practicing anything, but we can over-practice, we can overthink, we can overanalyze. It actually creates subconsciously an atmosphere of, I don't have time this month to do any more shows. And if we're not careful, we sabotage our own selves. You know, the biggest person that's in the way of success, between us and success, is our own self. We sabotage our own self by the different things that we do and the things that we stress over, especially in our business. So as we look at that, how can we make this business less stressful and to me, it is actually a stress reliever when I get to a show, because I put everything else to the side, no matter what's going on or what I'm going through, what problem I've got to face. As my national Patty, she would say, it's 2 hours all about me. Woo, where it can be all about me. And she means that in a good way. It's 2 hours where it can be all about you sharing with these people and forgetting everything else and sharing something that works and sharing something that's valuable and having some quality time. So, and then that is important for all of us. So let's look at how do we create a show environment that we can actually enjoy and is duplicatable for everyone, is duplicatable with some basic principles, okay? So we really have to start at the beginning. Where does a show system, how do we even get started creating a systematic show system that's going to work, okay? So when I first started the business in 2002, I was very overwhelmed and very uneducated as far as what can I really do and what should I be doing. And I've learned, I've kind of graduated because I've had a tendency of having a hard head for many, many, many years, and thought I knew things that I didn't know. So let me just talk to those people for just a minute. Release yourself from thinking that you know everything, and realize that if you are not having the results that you think or that you want to have at the show, you need to reach out for some help. You need to reach out for some, what can I do different? You need to look at how other people are doing their show. And most importantly, I do want you all to remember this from this week's power video, is success lies hidden in your daily routine. So the success you want at the show lies hidden in what you are doing at the show. or what you're not doing at the show. And regardless of what you may think, there is an order of the show presentation. And that order is people need to fall in love with the product. So we have to show the product. That's the whole purpose of a show demo, is for people to be able to learn and to see the product in action. Then they've got to fall in love with the idea of having their own show, hosting their own show, okay? Then they have to also fall in love with the idea of maybe becoming a consultant and being a part of your team and your business. At the same time, while they're doing all of these things at the show, they should be falling in love with you as a consultant, because they're enjoying the time that they're spending with you and what you're pouring into them. So what in the world are we going to do that could be different, and how do we create our show system? What kind of atmosphere are we creating? Nothing is ever going to replace a live cooking show. Not a virtual show, not a catalog show, because nothing's ever going to replace smelling, touching, seeing the product in action, and even above that, socializing and getting to know you, the consultant, socializing and interacting with friends and guests. So I love the fact that we have all of this technology, because this right here would not be possible for so many people, hundreds of people, to be able to watch this training when they can. But it's also, remember that it's not, wouldn't it be cool if I could reach out and give you a high five? Wouldn't it be cool if we could hug each other? Wouldn't it be cool if we could smell the coffee that you're drinking? You could tell me all about that. So I want you to have that in the back of your mind as well. So I don't want us to ever think that we don't need to be doing a cooking show ever anymore, or that it's outdated, or that it's not necessary or needed, because it is. There is a need for it, and there's a need for people to get together and socialize. And if we're not careful, we might forget about that's a good reason to actually book a show. So let's get back to the point. Let's get back to, how do I create, what kind of atmosphere do I create, and where do I even start creating a show system? So the first thing I want to ask you is, the first thing that we need to do is we need to know who our guests are, okay? So in response to how do I create a show system that's going to work, no matter what type of show it is, we got to know who our guests are. And how are we going to know who our guests are? There are actually 3 categories of guests, okay? And this is not to categorize people per se, but it's to help you to know how the flow of your show is going to be. Well, what do you mean, Michael, the flow of my show? Well, if I'm in a room full of you guys, do I need to talk about this, or do I need to talk about that? Because all of you that are consultants more than likely are in the category of seasoned guests. You have lots of products, you've been to shows, you've maybe even hosted shows. So let me give you my 3 categories first of all, and we'll start in order. Newbies, that's the first category. Partially, that is the second category. And the third category is seasoned. So this is what all of that means. Someone in a newbie category is a new person at a show, or they've never heard about Pampered Chef at all. They own nothing. They don't have any products. Partially familiar, that was second category. Partially familiar guests are people who they're somewhat familiar with the product line. They have 1 or 2 pieces, but most of their stuff is in the cupboard cave. They really don't have a favorite, or they really weren't educated on how to use the product properly. So it was kind of like, Sally had a show and I supported Sally and I bought the can opener, but I don't use it. So that's that group. And then you've got your seasoned group. You've got those seasoned people love Pampered Chef, and they have lots of different products. And if you'll really look and analyze, the people who say they have it all are the people that continue to buy it all, okay? So our goal as a consultant is to get everybody in that seasoned box, okay? But why is that important for me to know that at the beginning of the show? When the show starts, and we'll get into a little bit more detail, but when the show starts, I'm going around the room having everybody introduce themselves. And first, before they introduce themselves, I'm having everybody say, I'm asking the question, who has been to a Pampered Chef show before? And they raise their hand. And then I'll say, who has not been to a cooking show before? And those people raise their hand. And then I'll say, who has been to a show before, but you've not been to a show with me as your consultant? And they'll raise their hand. Now, that's really crucial too. That kind of gets me in my mind. Now I can focus on, do I need to give a whole lot of information about XYZ? Do I need to talk a lot more about the company XYZ as far as we have a great warranty? We're a Berkshire Hathaway company. Most of our products are warranted for 3 years, 5 years, or lifetime. We have nothing under 1 year's guarantee. You know, a new person that knows nothing about our company, that's some of the facts that they're going to need to hear. Now, if I have a well-seasoned group in the audience tonight, and they have some products, then I'm going to be able to give them what I call the advanced training on more uses for their rock crock, more uses for their grill pans, more uses for their other products that they are going to say that they're favorites, okay? So not only am I looking at the products, I'm going to focus on the products that I am demoing that night, but I'm also going to go around the room now once I've got the show of hands and have every person in the room introduce themselves with their name and their favorite Pampered Chef product. How many people realize that people buy what they see you use and they fall in love with when they see you use it and you're explaining it? And then the next top of the list is what their friends tell them that they can't live without. That's what you're going to be selling at a cooking show. That's your top two categories. What you're using that they fell in love with and what everybody else in the room is telling them they can't live without. All right? So remember that. So that's a crucial part of building a show system that's going to work. Because I'm going to be honest with you. There are not a lot of us out here who are taking the time to even do that. We don't know the crowd. And some of you are sitting there, because I used to do that too. I didn't used to start my show with that type of format. And so I'd be just jumping into the recipe. Whoa, I lived through the recipe. And then, you know, like, la, 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 crickets at the checkout. Crickets at the checkout. Who's ready to come to the checkout? Nobody. Because I didn't either know enough information, or I talked about things that didn't even matter. If you've got a room full of seasoned people, they don't really need to be hearing the warranty and the guarantee and it's dishwasher safe and blah, 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 on and on and on and on and on, okay? You may want to focus on more of that for a crowd of a lot of newbies. And then you want to be somewhere in between with some people who have some things, but who may be needing to be certified, and that's the word terminology I like to use. Verbiage is crucial, by the way. I like to use that verbiage of certifying you on how to use the can opener tonight. Certifying you on how to use your rock crock. Okay. So that is really, really crucial to get, and that also opens the door for them to talk and not just you be like, blah, 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 because that causes, you know, a wall to start building. Everything that we can do that's proactive at a show to build down walls, because guess what? People are invited. If they don't know you, they've never been to one of your shows, they don't know if they're going to have a good time, they're going to judge this invitation on, do I go or not? Well, yeah, I like Patty. She comes to everything that I have, so I've got to go support her tonight. Do you know that's the #1 magnet? Choom, choom. That's the #1 reason why there are people coming to the show, to support their friend or support their host. Now, you've got to overcome, because even myself and some of you watching this today, you have been invited to an event and you said, well, I'm going, but I'm not buying anything. I'm going and I got a $10 bill and that's all I'm going to spend, okay? And you know you've done that. But for some reason as a consultant, and we're in Pampered Chef and we're so excited, now we think, oh, we've arrived, the pearly gates have opened, and all these people want to buy everything that we're going to talk about tonight. And that's just not the case. they've got the same kind of mindset. I'm only here because Susie so-and-so. I'm only going to spend $10. I'm not going to buy anything tonight. Okay? So make sure that you realize that up front, that you've already kind of pre-programmed yourself. I'm coming in here tonight and I'm going to tear down these walls. I'm going to let these people talk. I'm going to build a relationship with these people. I'm going to get these people to start liking me and to start listening, okay, to what we're going to be talking about tonight and what I'm going to be sharing with them tonight. Because that's how we're going to drive bookings. That's how we're going to drive sales. So that's one of the main starts to your show system that's going to make you a success. The next thing I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to be honest, I have made a couple of notes because I'm trying to be good stewards of everybody's time, and I want to do that. But then I'm like my friend Patty. I can't find where my page I'm supposed to be on. All right, y'all were supposed to laugh at that. Hee hee ha ha. Okay. So, all right, I found my page, yay. Okay. So, the host program. All right, and this kind of like, I thought he was talking about how to have a successful show and a show system. Well, I am. And guess what? If you don't know the host program, how in the world do you convey that at the show? Don't allow the catalog and the back of the catalog to control the excitement about the host program. So as we go around the room at the show and everybody's introducing themselves, which you do have to have a controlled environment on that. You don't need, to spend 30 minutes on introductions. And I can do introductions, what I call popcorn introductions. And I'm like, if I've got 30 people in the room tonight, I'll tell them, now we got to do our intros pretty quick and do what I call popcorn introductions, okay? So make sure you spit your name out and go ahead and tell us what your favorite product is. Another thing that I want to encourage everybody to do is to make sure you have name tags for your guests and wear their name tag during their show. That is an extra investment, but I'm going to tell you, when you're doing a cooking show and you can say, hey, Patty, or I can say, hey, Amanda, or I can say, hey, Ida, as I'm doing the show, then I'm building that relationship. Sometimes people think, that's just kind of simple. I'm not really going to do that. Some people are like, well, I know everybody because, this is my first show. So even if it's your very first show and it's all family and friends and you know every name in the room already, still do the name tags. Because what you start doing, you continue to do and you build in your system. Because that is something that causes frustration and stressing. People are changing up. Every time they do a show, they're changing up their format. And they're changing it up again. And if you're not doing a lot of shows, and most of us when we first get started, we're not doing a lot of shows, then it becomes so frustrating because we can't get our groove. Because again, we're too focused on what the recipe is going to be. And that's going to be for another video talking about that a little bit more in detail. But make sure you use the name tags, okay? So let's jump back to the host program because we only have a few minutes left on our vid today. And let's talk about the host program. So they go around the room, they introduce themselves, and even the host. And I try to set that up in a format to where the host is either in the middle of the introductions or the last one to be introduced. I don't typically introduce her first, and I know sometimes people might be like, well, that's not right, but that's the way I do it. So I'm just sharing what I do. And the reason why I do that is because I want to say this. Thank you, Millie, for being my host tonight. I appreciate you so much. And Millie, you know what? I'm glad you said you like the Rock Crock, but your newest favorite is going to be all of the products that you earn for free tonight as our host. Millie, did you know that all of our product as free product is truly free because Pampered Chef takes care of the sales tax? Now let's make a little side note. I'm doing this in front of the whole group. Everybody in the room is hearing this information, which they may not either, number one, understand, or number two, they really haven't considered at all hosting their own show. So I'm saying, Millie, oh my gosh, all your free product that you're going to earn is truly free because Pampered Chef takes care of the sales tax. Millie, guess what? You have the opportunity to earn up to 5 half-price items of your choice. Oh my gosh, this is what's half price this month. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of companies select what the half price options are for a particular month, and that's all that's offered. Well, our entire catalog is half price all the time. Then, Millie, oh my gosh, you're going to be able to go on an unlimited, please start putting that word in your vocabulary, unlimited shopping spree of 20 to 30% off everything else you want to pamperize your kitchen with. And Millie, if that weren't enough, Pampered Chef's going to give you a 50% off item of your choice at every show that's booked from yours. Whether it's catalog, online, in-home, or a show here at Millie's house if you don't want to clean yours, and she'll let you. So, and make sure you get on the booking bandwagon and book your show, because you're going to be able to take advantage of what Millie's been able to take advantage of tonight. Now, if that weren't enough, Pampered Chef's also going to give you a 10% discount off of every order. It's unlimited every time for the next 12 months after your show closes. Okay? And there's also going to be some 60% off options that you can take advantage of this month as the extra and then some. And guess what? When you book with me, I do the shopping for the recipe ingredients. So I'll bring those to the show and you don't even have to shop for them. All right, guess what just happened? Everybody in the room just heard Billy getting all of those benefits. And look at what I stressed on. I stressed on the free that's really free. A lot of people aren't even saying that or even conveying that there's, if you only turned in the free and spent the free product value, the only thing you owe would be the shipping going to that house. There's no tax. Now this is double free January, and we've got people earning hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of free product. So that makes a tremendous difference on the sales tax end. If they were to have to pay sales tax on the free product that they earned, so this host program, you guys, you need to be able to convey it just like I just did. Right off the cuff, not having to look at the book to do it. Now, to learn it, it's okay. Let them, grab a chart and say, this is all that you get. We used to have a booking slide, but you can do that. But you can also learn it and know it. It is one of the most valuable tools that Pampered Chef has given us as a consultant, is the opportunity of this awesome host program that the home office takes care of. It costs you nothing. It costs us nothing. Do you know how many people who are in other direct sales companies that have to pay for their half price options? That they have to pay for credit card processing? That they have to take care of what a host freebie would even look like to be able to offer? And that's why there's not a lot of consistency with some consultants that are in other direct selling companies. You guys, we have the best of the best. Now, also, let me tell you this. You have the opportunity to build your business on that host program without ever having to go to what's 60% off, or the extra and then some bonus. Now, did you hear the way I said what I said when I did that? And if you didn't, you can just hit rewind later. But I talked about the free. I talked about the half price options that she gets to select. I talked about her unlimited shopping spree. I talked about her 50% off past host. I talked about her 10% unlimited discount for 12 months. I saved the 60% off for last, and I didn't even say what it was, because it's not important by then, okay? That is a tool, an extra, and then some tool. It really just bothers me how some people are just out here all the time talking about, this is our 60% off, this is our 60% off month, 60% off month, boom, 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 boom. The host program is good every single month, and every single one of you need to work every single month to the year. So if you start building, and new consultants, and even if you've been here a while and you're a seasoned consultant, and that's what you've been doing, change it as fast as you can, because if you're not careful, you'll have people who only want to book a particular year, particular month to the year, or a particular special. And that is not how we build a successful business. That is not what the top sellers and The people who are doing this business full time, that is not what they built their business on, was a 60% off special, okay? And please don't take that in the wrong way, or I hope you have a paradigm mind shift that your host program that's available every single day is off the chain. It is the best of the best that's out here. So make sure to utilize that, okay? It is an awesome, awesome program, okay? All right, so I'm going to close real quick with a couple of things, and this is also building a show system, okay? I'm going to come back to this last stressor, okay? But there are some people who are struggling with bookings. There are some people who are struggling trying to build that consistency to get there. So I want you to know, when I started my business, I worked 6 to 7 days every single week. I was a tow truck driver, automobile mechanic, worked at my family's junkyard, okay, which is salvage yard. And they were 10, 12-hour days. So I had to literally decide, looking at that block of time, when I could work a show, okay? But one thing that I did to help build my business right away was to make sure that I did at least one show a month myself, being the host, which I still am doing to this day. And some months are busier than others, so sometimes it's like every other month I'm doing a show. But are you booking your own show at your home? Are you inviting people? And directors, you can call that a recipe night. It's still a show. You're showing a recipe, you're inviting guests, you're inviting people, you're creating sales, you're creating bookings, okay? Something else that can also help you build your product kit versus kitchen. And what in the world is he talking about, kit versus kitchen? Well, one of the number one stresses in this business are people who have a starter kit and they have a limited amount of Pamper Chef product. And now they're unpacking and packing and unpacking and packing because they're trying to use the product in their kitchen and they're at their show. Now, that's okay, and you have to do that for a little while, but learn how to host your own shows, take advantage of the kit enhancement, and have products that are for your show, and then your kitchen is also pamperized. So you're not pulling products to and fro. Because let me tell you, all right, directors, how many consultants are you going to end up losing in the long run when they have a full-time job, they have kids, they have extracurricular activities? Now they are hustling and out of breath, trying to run home, pack a bag, throw it in the car, go do a show, cleaning the dishes. We're going to talk about that too. But just saying, oh my gosh, let's make sure as a consultant to enhance our kit all the time by hosting our own shows. You can host your own shows. All the people you invite are not coming. So that gives you another door of opportunity. And I live in a rural area. I mean, it's as country can get where I live, okay? There are no so-called neighborhoods, but I would have a show here at this house on Saturday afternoons when I would get off at 3 o'clock. I would have a show starting at 5 or 6, okay? And sometimes I'd have 2 people. Sometimes I've had 1 person. Sometimes I have 20. But that really helped me build not only products, but helped me be more consistent with bookings. Because somebody's going to eventually come to your event that is going to book a show, and then there are going to be some other people there that you don't know, and therefore you're out of that circle of friends, okay? All right, so the stressor that I was talking about a moment ago, that's the stressor. Too many, I got to unpack, I got to pack, woo, woo, woo. So now you're paralyzing yourself, so now you're not doing that. Another idea that I want to give you is this, because some of you may be going, oh, there's just no way I'm going to have a show. There's too much going on in my life. My house is, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Well, have you ever considered the concept of 2 in 1 and dinner's done? Let me say that again, because this is really super good for somebody that's not very consistent with shows at all, somebody who's having a problem getting shows on the calendar, keeping shows on the calendar, or you are just, you're just out of time. You just feel like you don't have any more time left in your day. 2 in 1 and dinner's done. Most of you, if not all of you, are going to cook a meal for your family probably more than 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. Okay? Have you ever considered, and will you consider, inviting a friend or 2 or 3 to watch you cook a dinner? So the 2 stands for 2 people. The 1 is demonstrating 1 recipe, and that it doesn't have to be a complex, multi-step, $25 worth of ingredients, 1 recipe. It would be zucchini marinara that we posted last week. And what happens is you have that one-on-one opportunity to show them the product, hands on the product, then they get to taste the food even. And you're talking about a 35-minute to 45-minute time frame from start to finish. And if you'll do that twice a week with 2 people minimum, you'll end up being in front of 16 people a month over a course of 4 weeks. And over a course of 4 weeks, in front of 16 people, somebody's going to book their own show. Somebody's going to buy some product. And most importantly, people are going to be blown away at how, oh my gosh, how fast you just did that in that rock in the microwave and blah, and you know, on and on and on and on. So please consider, if you're out here right now, and there's half a month left. There's half a month of January. Today is the 15th. The month ain't over until the 31st. Man, you can do 4 or 5 2-in-1s and dinner's done. Okay? All right. So make sure, if you're out here struggling, that you do that. If you're an established consultant with business, and I've got to wrap up, I'm run over and I'm getting ready to wrap this up. But do a sneak peek with your established hosts. You don't have to wait for products to change. But isn't it exciting? We all get excited when Pamela Chef, right now we're earning Spring Free for All, and we'll be getting those products soon, and you know, we'll be starting to play with them and all of that. Technically, we can't sell them, but what if you had a sneak peek for past hosts and established customers to come to, and you kind of give them a little sneak peek of what's to come? That's going to help you build your calendar and put those people back and get them excited again about hosting, okay? But that 2-in-1 and dinner's done, that is a great way for the shy person, for the person that doesn't think they can have a successful show, that they don't have great show attendance right now, and they're going to be cooking anyway for their family. Oh my gosh, why not invite a couple of people over to be a part of that preparation, okay? So I want you to take this information. I want you to really look at your business and say, what can I do? If you've heard an idea today that you're going to integrate, please let us know what your results are. Also, please be encouraged that, you know, things don't happen overnight. You can't do 1 2-in-1 dinner's done and say, well, that didn't work for me. So be committed to whatever idea that you want to implement. Don't overanalyze. Look at who your people are at your show. Kind of get that mindset going. So we're gonna go a little bit deeper on our next Power Vid on Thursday night. We're gonna go a little bit deeper with that process. Give you some more information. Give you some more reasons why those things do work and how that they do make a difference by the time you get to the checkout. Don't forget, I'm going to try to close with everything this way that we're doing. What we do now, we reap the benefits of later. So let me hold up this big bag so everybody can really read now and later. Okay? So what we do now, we reap the benefits of later. Let's go out and make the rest of this week a successful week and share with people and give them the power to get the dinner on the table in 30 minutes or less. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing y'all back Thursday night. If you've got some people who you've kind of been talking to that aren't on the page yet, tell them to go to Michael Reeves, Pamper Chef team, and ask for to do a join request. Everybody's welcome so that we can have the greatest year in Pamper Chef we've ever had, okay? All right, y'all go out and have a great day. I've got a show tonight. I am also going to post a baked spaghetti recipe that I'll be doing the rest of this month in the double burner grill pan. Have a great day. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye now.